Archaeologists made an astonishing discovery in a remote area of northern Saudi Arabia. In that dry, windswept region known as the Nefud Desert, they uncovered a fragment of history that might force us to revise how we think early humans expanded beyond Africa. Hidden for more than 115,000 years, 7 human footprints were revealed in the hardened mud of an ancient lakebed. These impressions were found within a sea of hundreds of animal tracks, including elephants, camels, buffalo, and early horse relatives. Their presence is nothing short of miraculous. The site is called Alathar, which in Arabic means the trace. It was first exposed in 2017, after erosion gradually removed overlying layers of sand and sediment. As the sun struck the hardened surface, researchers realized these depressions were not geological artifacts, they were fossilized footprints. They numbered around 376 in total, but it was the unique shape of 7 that drew immediate attention. These particular prints matched human anatomy and stood out among those made by large fauna wandering a lakeshore in prehistoric times. Dating these prints involved careful scientific methods that go beyond simple carbon dating. Researchers examined isotopic clues, stratigraphy, and local sediment layers. They concluded that these footprints were created around 115,000 years ago, near the end of a relatively warm and wet period before the onset of an ice age. That timing places the prints within a window between roughly 120,000 and 110,000 years ago, the last interglacial when northern Arabia was a much more welcoming environment than it is now. What makes this discovery so extraordinary is that it reveals Homo sapiens in Arabia long before the well-known wave of migration around 60,000 years ago. Prior studies hinted at early human presence in the Levant as early as 180,000 years ago and in parts of Europe at 210,000 years ago. But this is the first concrete evidence that anatomically modern humans ventured into the interior of the Arabian Peninsula that long ago. Why did those early humans come to this lake? The researchers found little evidence of hunting activity. None of the animal bones bore cut marks, and no stone tools were discovered. That absence suggests that these people stopped by briefly, most likely to drink fresh water at a rapidly shrinking lake. The animal footprints suggest a congregation of species drawn to the same vital resource. It was not a migration camp, but rather a moment in time when thirsty humans and creatures paused beside receding water to sustain themselves. Footprints are rare treasure in paleontology because they capture frozen behavior, an ephemeral instant preserved for millennia. One modern experiment showed that human footprints vanish within days in mudflats. That those ancient tracks remain intact indicates that conditions were exceptionally ideal. A fine-grained lakebed that dried quickly, sealed, and later hardened into stone before erosion had obliterated them. Scientists are confident the footprints were made by early Homo sapiens rather than Neanderthals. The footprints' shape and size align with taller, more gracile models typical of modern humans. At that latitude and era, Neanderthals were absent from Arabia. The prints fall within an era when Homo sapiens are known to have spread from Africa into the Levant and beyond. If more evidence comes to light, interpretations might shift, but current data strongly favor early humans as the track makers. This find rewrites part of the human story. Rather than a single later migration across the Sinai into Eurasia, it seems early humans made multiple forays into Arabia during wetter phases. The discovery underscores how dynamic and varied humanity's ancient dispersal pathways were. It also highlights the Arabian interior as a crucial but long overlooked corridor in the early movements out of Africa. Through continued analysis of fossil footprints and sediments at Alathar, scientists are piecing together not only who walked here but also what the landscape looked like long ago. Large mammals roamed grasslands beside freshwater lakes. Humans moved quietly among them. Their footprints froze a crossroads of species, seeking survival on the cusp of a climate shift. That snapshot gives us a new lens on how our ancestors adapted to changing worlds. This discovery does more than fill a gap on a map. It challenges assumptions about when and how humans first ventured out of Africa, suggesting that modern humans had the ability and perhaps the resilience to explore interior Arabia during an early warm window. It reminds us that the deserts we see today once held lakes, grasslands, and routes used by ancient humans long before more famous migrations occurred. In uncovering those footprints, archaeologists have not only traced a physical path, they have traced a moment in human history. And in doing so, they opened our eyes to a hidden chapter of prehistoric migration, a step that might bring us closer to fully understanding the story of how we became a global species.